Have you ever dreamt of building your own business to allow yourself to have time, location, and financial freedom, but you're lost on where to begin? Well, my name's James Eardley, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly where to start on an entrepreneurial journey. If you're new to the channel, I've built and scaled a 7-figure e-commerce business, and that has allowed me time and location freedom. So with this videos and with my channel, I'm teaching you how to achieve the same success. So I know that feeling very well, and before I started my first business, I was completely lost, but I knew that I had a drive inside me, ambition and energy to put it towards something that would enable me to have the freedom that I wanted in my life. Because success, and a success to me, was really being free with your time, being free with your location, and being free with your finances so that you can do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want to be with. And that is success. And to get that in today's day and age, we need to really have our finances set up, because otherwise you are a slave to a job, because you always have to be working on that job. And if you're not working on that job, the money dries up. And that means you then don't have a location freedom because you have to be a certain place to work on that job. And it means you don't have time freedom because you have to work on somebody else's schedule. If you're anything like me, you're ambitious and you have this energy that you want to push into a business, but you just don't know where to start. And it's easy to feel paralyzed by all of the different options out there with starting a business. So what you need to do really is commit to one type of business and then forget about all the distractions. And that will be the key today. So I'll discuss how to actually find that one business that you'll commit to, go all in on, and forget about all the other distractions of other business models and other shiny objects while you're working on that single mission. Firstly, the business I went into was e-commerce and selling physical products. Now, I'm passionate about this as being a fantastic gateway into entrepreneurship because you're selling products that are already proven. Now, when you're first getting started with a new business, the temptation is, when you think about starting a business and being an entrepreneur, you're thinking about how can I create a new business and get new demand for what I'm going to give people. And that there is this idea that you have to either be an inventor or you have to create something brand new. But what that does is it means you have to then create something that is amazing and is really in demand by a market. And when you haven't got experience in business, it's very difficult to be able to create demand for something. Instead, when we first get started, certainly what I understood was that you should really not have to invent the wheel or reinvent the wheel. You should really just think about what is working right now, what is a proven method of creating a business in order for me to do that as well. Because the learning curve is going to be steep when you start a business. And to make sure that it's all worthwhile and going on that learning curve, you should go into a business model and sell products that are already proven. Because when you get to the end of that steep learning curve and you've put a business together, you know that you've put it into a method that's working for other people and is proven already. The exciting part about that, when we go into something that's proven, is that you become the variable. Now, what I mean by that is the business is set already and it's a business that's working for other people. So the only variable in this whole setup of a business is you as the entrepreneur and the business owner that's creating it. So it means that the reason why you'll be successful is all on you. It's not on having chosen the right business model and making sure that it's right. It means that you have the power to be exceptional and therefore to have an exceptional business. And that gives you the power, which I'm really keen on, is that you should always keep the power in your own hands and not give it to other people or other business models that you're creating. Think about the power that you can give to yourself and know that if you are in a business that is proven already, then by you being exceptional, it allows you to be the variable and you to create an exceptional business. So the business model that I recommend, and it is an ideal one to get started, as I've alluded to, is e-commerce, which is selling physical products online. Now, specifically within the e-commerce business, because that's a very broad term for an industry, the specific type of e-commerce that I do is drop shipping, because you don't have to put in loads of money upfront to start selling products. Now, it's not the traditional drop shipping that you might have heard already, where you're selling cheap products online and you're constantly having to find new trends and trending products and that type of dropshipping. The type of dropshipping I do is selling high ticket, expensive products from UK suppliers to UK customers, or apply that to whichever country you're living in, which means that you can get fast delivery, high profit per order, and you have good relationships with your suppliers to ensure that you have a business that doesn't give you headaches. I've tried the other type of dropshipping, which is the AliExpress model, and for me, it didn't work out at all because I had to constantly find trading products and reinvent the wheel. Every time that I started a new business, I had to create a new store, a new product, and I didn't like that type of business. The businesses that I create, I like to look at the long-term picture, sustainable income streams, and that's what the type of business I create now. Now, you might be worried that that isn't a very beginner-friendly business because it's high ticket, but I completely disagree. When you first start a business, you need to give yourself margin for error when you're learning, and by going into high ticket products, I believe the numbers then are on your side. You then have more money per order that you generate, which gives you more money to play with and to find customers when you're first getting started with marketing. So it switches it so that you have the money on your side. Compare that to if you're selling £20 products and you have a 50% margin, so you're buying it for £10, but then you only have £10 to find those customers, and it can be quite easy to spend more than £10 to acquire a customer very quickly and lose control over the figures, and the numbers aren't in your favor because you then need to generate thousands of orders in order to create a healthy income for you as a business owner. And by having thousands of orders, you'll have loads of admin, loads of customer service, lots of operational complexity, and if it's your first business, it's going to be more difficult for you to manage that business with loads of orders coming in compared to a high ticket business where you perhaps only have 3 or 4 orders in the first month, and that will still generate you a few £1,000s in profit. But it's so much easier to fulfill that business where you've only got a few customers to look after compared to the thousands of customers you'd need with a low ticket business. The next reason why I picked this business model is low initial startup costs required. Now, compare this with a traditional retail business where you'd have to lease a property on the high street, kit it out with all of your products, kit it out with all your branding, and you're looking at tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of pounds to invest and start one of these businesses. And of course you can get loans to do this, but do you really want to go into debt by tens of thousands of pounds before you generate that first pound of income? Well, I definitely didn't when I first started. I wanted to start a business that I knew I could be getting started, getting money into the business with just a few £100s of investment initially. So that's why I would choose dropshipping and why I'd recommend it now. The cost required to get started is a Shopify subscription, which will be on the basic plan, which will be about £25 a month. A Google Workspace account, which gives you access to Google Ads, professional email address, which I believe is about £10 a month. A phone line, which I recommend Circle Loop, which is about £6 a month. And other than that, you might have a few apps on Shopify to enhance your store. But these are really just the critical ones to get started. So you have ongoing fees of about £50 a month. And then you'll initially need to get your business registered with Companies House, which I believe is now £50 to do that. So think about this, compared to tens of thousands of pounds, we're talking about less than £100 to get started and an ongoing cost of maybe £50 a month, which is unbelievable to have access to scale a business. Now, beyond that, I recommend having a few £100s ready in your marketing budget to put towards Google Ads to spend before you acquire your first sale. And then after that point, you can then reinvest the money that you've had and the profit you've made from your first few sales into continually marketing and growing your business from that position. Aside from that initial investment, that's a very low investment. And you need to have a look and think about how much money you have personally to get started. Beyond that initial investment, the rest of the money that you can put towards this business, I believe you should invest that completely in learning and training and getting around people to shortcut your success. The problem I had when I first got started was that when things went wrong, I had no one around me to teach me how to make it right. So I completely failed my first dropshipping businesses because I didn't know what I didn't know. The reason why I was able to succeed is because I joined a program and it made me then have access to people that were succeeding already, and it gave me a step-by-step guide, and it was worth every single penny that I invested into that course because now I had the steps I needed to follow and I had people around me to teach me how to get there as well. So beyond that initial investment, I recommend the rest of the money you've got, put that into learning And of course, the different amount of investment that you have will give you access to different levels of training. But ultimately, I think you should invest as heavily as you possibly can into it, because it will pay you back in the sales that you make with your business, and it really pays you back in the time it takes you to get to that profitable level as well. So before you make that decision about which business you're going to start, you need to understand that you need to commit to whichever business you go into. No business is going to be successful if you just dabble in it and you just consider, I'd like to do dropshipping, or do you know what, I'll give a social media agency a go. You have to go all in on whichever decision you made and whichever business you want to go into. You need to burn the boats, which is a saying when you go and invade a country. If you burn the boats that you've arrived to that country on, then you have only a decision to make of winning that country or die trying. And it's a similar process with starting a business. You need to take away the options, any plan Bs, and go all in. And it's amazing the power you get when you have to make something work. You will, because it's the only option that you've given for yourself. So that's that for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed the video and got some value and understand why I would recommend the e-commerce business model. If you're finding it challenging to kickstart your journey into starting a business and to leaving a 9-to-5 job, then I recommend checking out the first link in the description. Now don't worry, it's not an expensive course or anything like that. It's actually just a gateway to our free community called Freedom Builders, and you're getting around ambitious people that are inspiring each other to build a life of freedom for themselves. It's there if you need it. Take a look. If you don't feel like you need it, feel free to completely ignore it. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed the video today. Comment to let me know what your plans are with starting a business, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and it would make my day as well. With that said, keep taking steps towards your freedom, and I'll catch you in the next video.